authentic skate boots. Define your sport, made by a skater for skaters.
Oh, actually, it looks like Steel is getting ready to skate out here. Getting ready for the yellow and the black.
The crowd is just deafening for Steel City right now. They've definitely made a lot of fans this weekend. Steel City's roster for this game. Number 0, Dakota Slamming. 0x0, Damage Doll. Number 50, Dressed to Kill. Number 5, Hurricane Heather. Number 6, Snot Rocket Science. Number 7, Athena. Number 20, Madam Abigail. Number 58, The Crippler. Number 70, J-Bomb. Number 82, Bone Crusher. Number 89, Mean Burrito. Last but not least, 1893, Double Destroyer.
Steel hurtin'. Snot Rocket Science getting a huge roar of approval from the crowd.
Absolutely, and the ladies who skate in Brussels and Paris are super, super fortunate. She and team captain Allie McKill, I think, are going to be helping coach some leagues in France and Brussels next week.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know what? Anybody who wants to come over and help out European leagues, feel free.
They are so, so excited to have you here. Make the trip.
All right, we are looking to introduce London Brawling for the last time of this weekend. The home team, the crowd favorite so far.
And fantastic, wonderful tournament hosts. We have all been so well taken care of this weekend. You've done an amazing job in putting on a flawless tournament while skating your hearts out. So we all thank you.
Oh my gosh, amazing banner in the audience over there. It's the header of our old website, recreated in banner form.
Oh my God.
And here comes the Clash, London calling. That always gets me pumped up, you know. All right, on the roster today for London, number ICU2, Ina Flash. Number 04, Fox Sake. Team captain, number 9, Kamikaze Kitten. Number 13, Stephanie Maney. Number 17, Skyrocket. Number 21, The Bowmanator. B52, Axis of Yvonne. Number 68, Vagablonde. Number 85, co-captain, Poison Arrow. Number U96, Nuclear. Number 357, Raw Heidi. Number 410, Missile Elliot. Number 900, It's Ninjet. And number 1984, and the poster girl for Anarchy in the UK, it's Grievous Bodily Charm.
Nice.
And the London Brawling are managed by Ballistic Whistle, who is the former head referee of London, and also helped on the bench by Silky Briefs. Just waiting for the final crowd intro here.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God. There's I'm not going to lie, it's a member of London Rollergirls wearing an entire head-to-toe gray bodysuit covering the face and every orifice with a huge pink wig. And naturally,
amazing.
some booty shorts. Yeah.
I feel like with Sweet Hurt, Mad Maloney, and Plastic Patrick in the house this weekend, you're really making a statement when you grab our attention.
You know, I was house announcing for a while, and I was dressed up, and then Plastic Patrick showed up, and I was like, there's just no point anymore. I can't win. All right, referee's just doing the kit check here. Had refs from all over the place working in this bout.
As Justice throws up his hands because he just is not understanding why we move from intros to equipment check. That is a why?
When does he think we should do the equipment check? Just out of curiosity.
Pre-intros, maybe?
I guess so. Yeah, that would probably make more sense, really. But, maybe they could swap something during the intro. I don't know.
That was my thought, is that maybe, the sort of custom here is that just before we get on the floor is when we look at somebody's equipment.
Because we like a nice anticlimax. That's what we like. Bring it on.
We'd also like to thank out there in viewing land, you, the viewers, here on viewer-supported Derby News Network. We could not do this without your help. If you have a spare dollar or two, please consider making a donation. 100% of viewer donations go directly to the costs of bringing you these broadcasts, and we thank you so much for continuing to make it possible for us to do this, what we love to do for all of you.
And we in London are so happy that Derby News Network could come out. We've been wanting you guys to come out here for ages. Now it's time.
We are so thrilled to be here.
Woohoo!
It's been an incredible weekend.
Short and sweet for you guys.
Mm-hmm. It's sort of a spa vacation of a tournament weekend for us. 6 games in 2 days is a bit of a luxury. So
the sweat off the crowd is like cleansing your pores.
And the sun came out. It's springtime in London.
Yes. The irony that the best weekend we've had all year in London, and here we are inside this huge hall. And that's it. If you've never been to London, I'm just going to tell you, that was summer right there.
It's done.
Okay, we are lining up for the first jam. Apologies, but I'm going to have to learn the jammers a little bit because we cannot see the back of the jammer jerseys from where we're sitting.
And that is Hurricane
Heather.
Yes,
it is. I recognize the hair.
For Steel City.
And it looks like we have Vagablonde, the hero of the last bout for London, lining up to jam in the black today.
She's had an outstanding weekend.
Absolutely.
The entire London jamming bench has been really impressive. I'm particularly fond of Vagablonde's apex jumps.
Yes, she likes the apex. Okay, Vagablonde taking off a little bit ahead of Hurricane Heather, taking the outside, but knocked out by Athena.
Hurricane Heather up through the inside.
Ooh.
Slips around the last London blocker. She's your lead jammer.
Oh, a nice hop, skip, and a jump from Vagablonde. She's out of the pack, but Hurricane Heather is already at the back of the pack on her scoring pass.
She takes an assist from Athena, and I cannot see which London pivot is in there, but really
that is Grievous bodily charm there.
Yeah, so she's got right in front of Heather.
Heather calls it off. London saves a couple points there. Looks like 2 points for Steel Hurton on that jam.
Just over 29 minutes ticking down on the first half of this last game of Anarchy in the UK.
We have number 6, Snot Rocket Science, jamming for Steel Hurton against team captain Kamikaze Kitten from London Brawling. Nobody in the box yet. Full pack still. London been a little bit plagued by the penalties. New experiences for them.
Pack takes a slow start. It's not rocket science, shaking her head at her teammates as she approaches. She runs up through a hole on the inside for lead jammer.
I think it's going to take a little while for London to adjust to the speed of some of these super fast speed skaters.
However, Kamikaze Kitten fought right out of the front of the pack, past Dress to Kill, who is now taking a seat in the penalty box for Steel City.
Nevertheless, Snot Rocket Science on her scoring pass. Knocked out by Raw Heidi, but she is able to come back in as Raw Heidi goes out of bounds.
No.
She is through 4 points.
Kamikaze Kitten literally right on her heels.
It looks like 4 points for London there as Cammy was right on her heels, and I don't think she noticed in time to try and call it up if she wanted to.
Snot Rocket Science with a little positional and then physical jammer on jammer defense. Taking down Cammy in turn 1. She's now got almost a half-track lead on her.
She is going to go for some points and call it, I'm guessing.
Athena took a seat in the penalty box with Dress to Kill, so we've now got a 4-2 pack advantage for London.
Actually, no. Stephanie Maney is in the box for London as well. Stephanie is definitely one of the most feared blockers in London, so I don't think they ever want to see her sitting on the bench. She broke my leg, just saying. Oh. It's all right. It's better now.
Steel City 9, London 0. Just over 27 minutes on the clock.
All right, we've got Hurricane Heather again for a steal. And number 04, Fox Sake, lining up for London.
Everyone's smiling and shaking hands on the jam line.
It's all friendly now, isn't it? Wait till London gets that second half glory.
I feel like in some cases these teams are so excited, so grateful to play each other
Oh, yeah.
that it's been really friendly.
Seriously, speaking for London, I can say that nobody is upset about losing a game. It's just been an amazing weekend. It's the first time we've ever been able to play games like this. It's okay to lose.
So many skaters I spoke to after the last game, the first game of today that London played, said that that's the first time they've ever had a loss that big that felt like a win.
Yeah.
Every single one of them was saying they felt like they just won champs.
Well, I have to say, before this weekend, London Brawling has lost one game, and that was by 1 point. So, yeah, new experiences all around. London starting on their knees. Only 2 blockers for London, and only 1 for Steel, but they've got a blocker standing in the box, so they should be joined shortly.
Dress to Kill should be joining the pack in just a second. Fox Sakes takes an inside hole.
Oh, she is through. Lead jammer for London Brawling for the first time.
Here comes Hurricane Heather. She's assisted by her teammate. She's out of the pack, but not lead.
Chance for Fox to score here if she can keep her lead over Hurricane Heather and if she can make her way through.
Stephanie Maney is standing in the penalty box.
Fox is passed, and she calls it.
And catches a teammate before she falls.
That is going to be 3 points for London, bringing it to 7-9 with 26-28 left in the period. Vega Blonde lining up to jam once again for London.
It's not rocket science for Steel Hurton. And we looks like we're 2-on-2 in the pack again.
Another small pack. Both teams beset by penalties already.
Athena is standing for Steel City. She's rejoining the pack right now as the jammers approach.
Oh, wow. Vega Blonde, another inside hop. There she goes.
Athena's at the back of the pack trying to give an assist to Snot Rocket Science. Stephanie Maney tries to take her to the outside. She's out of the pack and not your lead jammer.
Stephanie doing her best to hold Athena back. Doesn't want to give her a chance to wail on Vega Blonde. Vega Blonde takes the outside, calls it. 4 points for Vega Blonde. Not a Grand Slam, but she gets 4 points for London. That is going to put London in the lead, I think, for the first time in this tournament. 11-9. Woohoo, 2 points.
It's not the first time in this tournament.
Is it not?
But
Oh, sorry.
It's an exciting lead change.
No, not the first time we've had a lead change. I think it's the first time London's been in the lead, though. Surely. No? God, you think I would know?
I don't think so.
Okay.
We should ask Justice, but he's busy.
He would know, yes.
Pouring his heart out, writing recaps for you guys.
I just want to let everyone know Justice has had about 5 hours of sleep in the past 72 hours. So
and has not stopped working.
That's right. And I'm going to buy him a vodka Red Bull when we get to the after party.
Hurricane Heather is coming off the line for Steel City.
Oh, Kamikaze Kitten for London, hopping through the inside right past Athena. She is lead jammer for London.
Hurricane Heather recycled to the back of the pack by London. She's got 1 more to pass. She's free on the inside. Nope, not quite.
Skyrocket trying to hold her, but she's got to let her go for the 20-foot. Cami doing a little pirouette in the pack there. Not scoring yet, I don't think. Hurricane Heather coming up behind her. She's going to have to do something soon here.
4-wall of London in the back, trying to assist their jammer.
London trying to get to the front now because Hurricane Heather is right there. Cami's going to call it, and she does.
Skyrocket takes a seat in the penalty box.
Still, I think we got 2 points there for London, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, that is going to bring it to 14-9 in London's favor.
It's not rocket science on the line for Steel City. And my all-time favorite derby name ever, number 04, Fox Sake, on the line for London.
As I said before, every time we do a PR opportunity and Fox is involved, they always make her cover her name.
Oh.
It's very upsetting.
It's criminal.
It looks like we've got a timeout called. I think it was a official timeout.
Yes.
Yep, official timeout. No, sorry, that's a Steel City timeout.
Really?
Yeah, it looks like it.
It is, in
yes,
fact.
I think they're like, hey, whoa, what's going on here? Come on.
23:42 on a stopped clock right now.
14 for London, 9 for Steel City. Probably not how Steel wanted to come out immediately, so they're going to have a little break, talk about it, see what they can bring.
So ultimately, I think what a lot of us would love to see coming out of this weekend, London has very few opportunities distance-wise to play competitive games that rank them in their region.
Yep.
I think almost everyone here, as well as many, many of our viewers, are hoping that this weekend can propel London into the WFDA rankings. What do you think it would be like if you could take your team to East Regionals this year?
It'd be pretty exciting. Yeah. It would be a first. Yeah. That's what we would like, obviously. I mean, we don't want to just have it handed to us on a platter. Hopefully we deserve it, but we definitely have our goal of going to regionals this year. And, I don't know what's going to happen next year. It's going to be a little while probably before we have a Euro region, so we might be in the Eastern regions for a couple of years yet. So let's get it started.
Again, Snot Rocket Science jamming against Fox Sake.
Yep. Another slow start on the pack there. Stephanie Maney hanging at the back. Oh, wow. Little jammer on jammer there. Snot has to take a little pirouette off Fox, but I think she came out a little bit ahead on that one. Both in the pack. Fox breaking out first. Lead jammer for London. Snot Rocket still in there behind Raw Heidi and Stephanie Maney. Now Axis of Yvonne and Raw Heidi trying to hold her back. Ooh, she goes down off her own blocker.
She's made it around Axis of Yvonne, but she's got one more London skater at the front of the pack to pass.
London recycling up to the front again, still holding her in. Raw Heidi trying to hit her. Now Axis of Yvonne has to let her go. Fox is on her scoring pass, meanwhile. And she is through on the inside line. Skyrocket coming out of the box to join London. That's a 4-point pass for London. Snot Rocket Science coming up to the pack, trying to get to her first scoring pass, so Fox calls it. That's 4 points for London, and again, no points for Steel City.
It's been really exciting to watch Fox blocking her way, making holes for herself through the pack this weekend as a jammer.
Well, traditionally Fox was a blocker mainly. She's a mean little blocker. She's got a nasty little hip check on her. But in the past year or so, she's really started to concentrate on jamming, and she's one of those jammers who can make her own holes.
Yeah,
so,
fantastic.
when she gets her jam on, it can be quite effective.
Hurricane Heather is on the line right now, jamming for Steel City.
And crowd favorite Vega Blonde right around the outside, just that fast. Lead jammer for London. Jammer definitely going London's way in these past few jams here.
Hurricane Heather jukes around the inside of Cammie to get out of the pack. She is not lead.
But all the steel blockers heading to the front of the pack, trying to save any points, so Vega Blonde cannot get any. Hurricane Heather not far behind her, so Vega Blonde does not have much time to try and score.
She
gets one there.
Poison Arrow, and unfortunately Bone Crusher takes her to the outside right during the assist.
No points for anyone on that jam, actually. Still 18-9. London over Steel City with 21:11 on the clock.
Fox Sake returns to the line for London, jamming against Snot Rocket Science for Steel City.
I know for somebody like Fox, it's got to be pretty exciting to line up against somebody like Snot Rocket because, we don't have a lot of speed skaters in Europe, so when you line up next to him, you're like, wow.
4-2 pack advantage right now to Steel City. Poison Arrow and Axis of Yvonne in the back of the pack, waiting for Snot Rocket Science.
Stephanie.
They're joined by Steph Maney. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Stephanie comes out right at the right moment, and she is holding back Snot Rocket Science just about. Fox and Snot Rocket both still at the back of the pack.
Athena forces Fox to the back of the pack.
Oh, Snot Rocket is past Stephanie on the inside, and she is out. Not lead, though. Fox has a chance to get out and call it off if she can get a little help.
Looks like that was Allie McKill.
Allie McKill, yes. Forced her out. Oh, here comes Snot Rocket, though.
Fox still barreling her way through that wall of Steel City. She's got one more to pass, and she's got Stephanie Maney to help her out at the front.
Oh, meanwhile, Snot Rocket has scored on the London team.
Whoa. Fox taken down on the inside on the straightaway by, I think, Damage Doll.
Snot Rocket still in the pack, and Fox still trying to battle her way out. Oh!
Allie McKill takes her down on the inside.
Allie is sent to the box. Fox still not out of the pack officially. She can't call it off. Snot Rocket doesn't have lead. She ain't going to call it off.
Dress to Kill takes her down to the outside on turn 3.
Oh!
Snot Rocket Science with an amazing attempt at a backwards leap around Stephanie Maney on the outside. Didn't quite come off, but she still makes it out of the pack with 5 points.
Fox Sake having a rough time on this jam, cannot make her way out of the pack. On that last attempt, she actually bounced off Stephanie Maney, so unfortunately she didn't get a little bit of help from her own team there.
3 wall of Damage Doll, Dressed to Kill, and Athena at the front of the pack for Steel City right now. Stephanie Maney's getting in there and trying to break it up. Snot Rocket Science takes advantage of the hole that she just made for the opposing team. Not quite past her, and she has to let her go on 20 feet.
Nice jam for Steel City. That's going to make a change in the score for sure. Looking for the final points on that last pass. That's going to bring it to 18-19. Steel City now in the lead by 1 point. 18:41 on the clock. Hurricane Heather lining up to jam for Steel versus Kamikaze Kitten for London Brawling.
We have Poison Arrow for London taking a seat in the penalty box, as well as Allie McKill for Steel City in the box. Slow pack start and a flash, and Grievous Bodily Charm waiting for Hurricane Heather at the back of the pack while Cammie runs up through the inside. She's got one skater to beat.
Oh, Heather takes advantage. She gets through, but Cammie is right on her tail. Trying to play a little jammer on jammer there. Cammie tries to get past her on the inside. Heather not letting her.
By a hair, it looks like Hurricane Heather is your lead jammer.
I wish the jam ref had a slightly bigger yellow band on his wrist because I'm having trouble seeing it sometimes. Both jammers approaching the back of the pack. Cammie's still right behind Hurricane Heather, and she might as well call it, so she does.
Poison Arrow released from the penalty box.
And once again, we have Snot Rocket Science versus Vagablonde. I'm sure that's a matchup we'll see many times in this match. Full pack, nobody in the sin bin. I never seen Athena skate, but a couple times yesterday I was thinking Beyonce because she gave a few rides that were reminiscent.
It's true. Athena is definitely a weapon in that pack.
Yeah.
Very intimidating, definitely agile. Here comes Vagabond.
Oh, a nice apex
jumps
jump
around Athena.
Oh,
no,
didn't
illegal
quite
procedure.
make it. I don't know what she did, actually.
She's taking a seat in the penalty box. It's now a power jam for Snot Rocket Science, who is your lead jammer.
London trying to get out. Don't want to get their goat trapped, but right now that is Axis of Yvonne. It looks like she has just broken out, though, so Stephanie Maney's going to hold up the back there and try to keep all the London blockers in front.
4 wall of steel in the back trying to slow the pack for their jammer.
So far, no luck. London still holding that front. Athena going up, trying to pick off a goat. Looks like Allie McKill's trying to come up and pick somebody. Stephanie Maney holding the back. Oh, there goes Snot Rocket Science. She's got 1 point off Stephanie there.
She's got 2 to pass now. Stephanie
sacrifices one of her co-blockers. Doesn't quite work. Snot Rocket Science still up. Snot Rocket Science knocked to the inside, has to slow down and come back in.
4 wall of London now in front of Snot Rocket Science as she's forced to the back. Here comes Vagabond sneaking up through the inside.
Raw Heidi doing a little dance in the front there.
Celebrating and taking Snot Rocket Science out on turn 2. Snot Rocket Science calls it.
But that was Vagabond's first pass, so there are no points for London on that one. 18-23 for Steel City right now. 15 minutes left. Half of this period gone. Low-scoring game and very close. It looks like London may have figured out how to play the first half finally. It only took 2 games.
I have to say, though, they're playing against competition who have been all-star teams that have been playing interleague for years.
Yep, that's true.
And for them to adapt and calibrate their play to these teams that have the luxury of constant competitive interleague play in the course of one weekend is very, very impressive. I think everyone on London has something to be proud of this weekend.
I'm pretty proud. For those who don't know much about London, in the past year, since last April when we went on our East Coast tour, we have played one game. And that was against the UK All-Stars, which was a pickup team. So
That's the extent of interleague since the U.S. trip.
Yep. We don't get a lot of teams wanting to play us in Europe, so that's why we had to bring people over.
Well, we are so glad that you did. Happy birthday, Cheeseburger from Steel City's bench coach.
Aww.
On the line right now for Steel City, not Cheeseburger, but Hurricane Heather.
And once again, Kamikaze Kitten for London Brawling. This game is so exciting that Justice has left his computer and is standing up. Or the fatigue is just set in.
Can you see his finger cramps from here?
That laptop looks a little dirty, that's all I'm saying.
It gets some use.
Very slow start for the pack. London trying to string it out. And Steel backs up. Hurricane Heather trying to juke around the outside there. Ina Flash and Poison Arrow trying to hold her back, but she gets through on the inside line, getting help from her team. She is out first. Steel is lead jam. Kamikaze Kitten in the middle of the pack. Wall of three, Steel at the front.
Skyrocket and Poison Arrow trying to give her the assist.
Skyrocket trying to get the Bone Crusher out of the way. Cammy trying to get past. Oh, she does. She is out, but she is a good half lap around behind Hurricane Heather.
She moved the crippler out of her own way on the inside to take that pass.
Cammy's little. She gets low and just pushes.
Here comes Hurricane Heather.
Ooh,
hopping through the pack.
Hoppy.
She has two skaters to pass at the front. Looks
Ina
like
Flash knocks her out.
To goat. Well, that's kind of a shame. I think that she would have been let off.
We got 2 points for Steel on that jam. Past few jams have definitely gone Steel's way, but none of these jams have been high scoring. So despite that, we're still only at 18-25 with 13:43 left in the half.
It's not rocket science on the line for Steel City, skating against Fox Sake for London.
Full packs, nobody in the box right now. London again taking a slightly strung out. Both teams slowing it down, backing up a little even.
Raw Heidi and Athena doing a little one-on-one in the pack. Here comes Fox Sake barreling through the pack. Unfortunately, she takes a little bit of a trip on Snot Rocket Science.
I think she is going out for a back block.
That's a shame because it looked like a fall.
Fox Sake has back blocks are the bane of her existence, actually.
Snot Rocket Science is behind the three wall of London right now. She's got a teammate trying to block Stephanie Maney out of her way. She's still got two to pass.
Oh!
Slips around on the inside for lead jammer.
Nuclea has been caught. She's the GOAT right now, and the entire pack is at a complete and utter standstill. It's not rocket science trying to push her way through. And now 3 blockers in the front for London. Raw Heidi is captured. And she is out. Stephanie Maney is now captured.
Athena tries to hold her. Stephanie's trying to fight her way out of the three wall in the back.
Axis of Yvonne pushes Snot Rocket Science to the outside, but she goes down, so Snot Rocket is able to come in front of her.
She'll take 4 points for that pass.
Raw Heidi going to the box for London. And here comes Snot Rocket again for another scoring pass. Stephanie Maney trying to hish her to the outside, and she does. Looking to the refs for a call.
4-3 pack advantage right now for Steel City. It's not rocket science, still having a really difficult time getting out of that pack.
Oh my God. Fox, they came out of nowhere, tried to take a major leap past Athena. They both went down. Meanwhile, Snot Rocket back for another scoring pass. Fox Sake is going to take the outside. She is through.
Wow.
Not lead. That is her first pass, so she has no points on this jam. Snot Rocket Science still scoring.
Athena and Allie have a goat in the back, and so London is going to have to let Snot Rocket go one more time.
That's the end of that jam. That is going to make the score 18-38. Steel City getting a little bit of a lead here now.
Just over 11 minutes left, ticking down on the clock.
I think London, even though they're not in the lead now, I think they're feeling a little more comfortable with the flow of this game. They seem pretty enthused.
3-on-3 in the pack. 1 skater for each team sitting in the penalty box.
And Vega Blonde versus Hurricane Heather on the jam line. Both off fast. Vega Blonde trying to get in front of Hurricane Heather and give her a little push. She's going to have to make her way past the crippler there at the back.
They tried to take Cami out on turn 4, but she's not having it. She's back in and barrels through the 2 wall at the front.
There is
Not
Vagabond.
lead jammer.
Not lead. That's Vagabond, not Cami.
That's what I meant. You know what I meant.
So Vagabond is out. Hurricane Heather is about 20 feet behind her, not that far. And Hurricane Heather has lead. So unless she can catch Vagabond, I'm assuming she's going to call it. Raw Heidi may make herself a point if she doesn't join up with the pack quickly here. Oh, and Hurricane Heather calls it as Vagabond gives her a little tap before they reach the back of the pack. Nil point for both teams on that jam.
Counting down from 10 minutes left in the first half.
Team captain Kamikaze Kitten lining up to jam for London.
And Mean Burrito for the first time
yes,
this
I was
game.
going to say, I don't
jamming for
recognize
Steel
this jam.
City.
Love the name.
Athena again moving a Steel City wall to the back of the pack in anticipation of the jammers.
Full pack once again. Nobody in the sin bin. Pack finally moving now. Mean Burrito hits the pack first. Cami right behind her trying to take the outside. Mean Burrito just got to get past Raw Heidi at the front there.
She's trying.
She
Raw
does.
Heidi takes her over the line, and she's through anyway.
Oh, Cami only just makes it and then slides out and falls down. She's now at the back of the pack again. Mean Burrito, not lead, but she is out.
Cami is your lead jammer.
And she called it.
According to the albino Wookiee.
I got to say, I cannot stop watching the albino Wookiee because his referee signals just have like a flourish and a flair to them that I just don't see anywhere
It
else.
is ode to Kappa Phil, I believe. I think that they are all Pacific Northwest region referees, and I have to imagine that Kappa Phil inspires
It's like a
that
magical
lovely
dance.
calling style.
Just can't stop watching. All right, here we go. Fox Sake again against Snot Rocket Science. Very slow pack once again. Athena trying to hit Fox Sake on the outside. Snot Rocket in the pack. Fox in the pack. Fox taking the inside. Is it clean? Yes, it is. She is lead jammer for London Brawling.
Snot Rocket Science still struggling at the back of the pack. Poison Arrow back there with her. Now she comes to the front wall of Enna Flash and Grievous Bodily Charm. They are hammer and nailing her to the outside on turn 2. Now she's going to do some jammer on jammer action. She takes Fox Sake to the outside on the straightaway and advances ahead of her. Cuts a little track on the inside.
Doesn't get called. Well, maybe a minor,
No,
but
there,
yeah.
I saw it. They called it. Track cut minor.
Fox Sake still trying to score here. It looks like Grievous Bodily Charm is going to the box for London. Snot Rocket is out of the pack now. Oh, Fox goes down off Athena. She's on her scoring pass, but Snot Rocket's coming up real quick. So she's going to get past and call it right now.
Looks like Fox got her hips past one more skater
Yes.
before calling the jam.
Looks like 2 points for Fox. Bench coach Ballistic Whistle looking for 4, not getting it.
So many of these games this weekend have just sort of blown by so quickly. I have to say, at just over 7 minutes left in this game, I can't believe that we're almost finished with the first half.
I know. And this is the last game of the weekend.
Vagablonde on the line for London right now, jamming against Hurricane Heather for Steel City. The pack is off with a 4-2 pack advantage right now for Steel City. Cami slips up the inside, rounds out the outside at the front of the pack for lead jammer for London.
That's Vagablonde. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Why do I keep calling her
I know,
Cami?
they both have blonde hair. Hurricane Heather out as well. She is about 15 feet behind her and gaining. So Vagablonde's got her work cut out for her if she wants to try and score. Not sure she's just gonna call it because Hurricane Heather has caught her.
$20 points for London, 38 points for Steel City. About 6.5 minutes left on the clock in the first period of the last game of Anarchy in the UK. The actual Cami is on the line for London right now, jamming against Hurricane Heather. It's the blonde dreadlock jam. Wow, Athena taking a heavy hit on the inside to Cami right off the line. Hurricane Heather has already made her way up to the front. Stephanie Maney is one-on-one with her, trying to force her to the outside and then the inside. She takes a swipe at her, but Heather is past her, past Axis of Yvonne, and she's your lead jammer. Meanwhile, Athena has moved Cammy to the back of the pack. Looks like she's low block penalty possibly. She's going straight to the box. This is now a power jam for Steel City. And Hurricane Heather has gone through her first scoring pass for 5 points.
Apologize for my lapse there. I'm actually dealing with a baby emergency.
4-on-1 in the pack for Steel City right now, and Heather just slides right through on the outside. She'll take 5 more points, 10 so far, with over a minute left to play in this jam for Steel City on a power jam.
Pack at a total standstill there. Poison Arrow tries to stop her, but she's not able to. Axis of Yvonne trying to hold her back on the inside. She knocks her to the inside, tries to back up. Hurricane Heather comes in behind her, but she is through once again. That is 5. Another 5 for Steel's Hurton. Pack again at a total standstill. London trying to race for the front. They do get to the front. Here comes Hurricane Heather.
4-3 pack advantage now for London. Still a power jam, but Cammy is standing up in the penalty box. 5 more points for Hurricane Heather. Bench coach is telling her to call it off as Cammy leaves the box and enters the track.
4 minutes, 25 seconds left in this period. 20 for London, 58 for Steel City. Steel City definitely with a nice lead here. London still in striking distance, however. Very low score for the first half.
Yeah, that's kind of exciting.
Yeah, very defensive, very physical game.
Mean Burrito on the line again for Steel City, skating against Fox Sake for London.
Stephanie Maney trying to give Mean Burrito a nice knock there.
Athena took a seat in the box for Steel City at the end of the last jam, so we've got a 4-3 pack advantage for London again.
Both jammers still stuck in the pack. Looks like Mean Burrito might make it through. Yes, Fox just coming through right in front of her.
Wow. Difficult to tell.
I think Fox Sake got the lead jammer call there, but Mean Burrito is in front of her, so Fox will probably have to call it.
Fox is chasing.
She's just going to see what happens. Bench coach is telling her to keep going. And she has to call it. Ooh, I think
Steel might have taken 1
No,
point.
they did not. Oh,
No?
yeah. No, that was 0. Sorry. It was a thumbs up for the 0, not 1 point.
Counting down from 3 minutes on the clock right now. London 20, Steel City 58. It's not rocket science.
Versus Vagabond. Oh, sorry, no,
Cougering.
that is Hurricane Heather. Oh, sorry.
It's not rocket science. Cougering on the line behind Hurricane Heather and Vagabond. She'll go straight to the box. That would be the penalty box.
Vagabond goes very wide on that first corner there, but they are both in the pack now.
Hurricane Heather behind a 2-wall of London. They've taken her to the inside. She jukes to the outside. She's got a teammate in Damaged Doll to try and break up that wall for her, but she's still being held. Is that behind Axis?
No, that was Grievous Bodily Charm. She is past now. She is out and lead jammer for Steel. Vagabond trying to get a little help, and she gets help from Skyrocket. She's out of the pack as well, but a good half lap behind Hurricane Heather.
Bone Crusher's going to the box for Steel City as Raw Heidi stands in the box to rejoin the pack for London. Here comes Hurricane Heather, bounces off Skyrocket on the outside, and she's through the pack for points.
And here comes Vagabond on a scoring pass. Hurricane Heather smartly calls it right before she gets there. A little momentum for Steel going into the half here. Looks like we've got 1:42 left on the clock, so we will get another jam at least. 2 blockers in the box for Steel. That's going to be a 4-2 pack advantage for London. And we have
Mean Burrito again for Steel City.
And Kamikaze Kitten. And London is taking a knee. They want to start this jam as soon as possible. Illegal procedure for Mean Burrito. She did not wait for the no pack call until she went.
She's trying to push her way through a London wall.
Does.
She does it successfully with the help of Athena.
Cammy right on her tail.
She is your lead jammer.
Yeah.
That was hard to tell because Cammy is right out behind her.
And Mean Burrito playing a little defense now, trying to slow Cammy down. Probably trying to wait for her blockers to get out a little bit. burn some time off the clock. Cammie just right behind her, waiting for that opportunity.
We're at a point now where the pack is finally catching up to them, and it's possible that we could see Mean Burrito force them to eat the baby and reabsorb.
I think that's what
Cammie
she's trying to
into
do.
the pack.
Here comes Athena. She wants it. Oh, Cammie sneaks on the inside of Mean Burrito, so it does not work. They are both coming around, catching up with that pack, both about to hit it. So Mean Burrito calls it. And 12 on the clock. 11, 10.
This is probably going to be the half.
I'm not sure if the jam will start before the clock runs down, so I guess we'll have to wait for the official time. Foxsake on the jam line just in case. Oh. And it's not rocket science. And that's it. Halftime.
42-point lead right now for Steel City over London. Certainly not an insurmountable lead with 30 more minutes left in this game. We have a 15-minute break for halftime.
Yes. I think, given the second half that London's been having all weekend, they're probably feeling pretty happy right now.
Exactly.
If they can do that again, they might have a chance. I'm not sure if we're going to get a fabulous interview. I think Sweet Hurt and Mad Maloney are going to look for somebody to give a special interview to DNN here during the halftime. If you saw the last bout, we tried to have a little chat with